Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, YAHAWASHI, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodash, and double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings to the house of David, which is the elect, starting with 144,000 men and the rest of the men, women, and children that are listening and learning, staying in the Holy Spirit, and keeping the faith of Yahawashai day in and day out. And I just wanted to touch on this quick topic, Lord willing, being edifying unto the elect. The ship is sinking and the rich are looking to escape. Okay. And, as I was, getting prepared for this video that I was doing, which, stems from an article that I want to bring out. But I came across this video from Dabu 7 entitled, "Are You Ready? DC begins boarding up holding drills ahead of election over social unrest fears." All right. So, this is all, centered around, as it says, the election, right? And whether or not, however the election goes, all right, whether or not the people will accept the results of the election. As it says in second Ezra's 15th chapter, that they won't, there's to be sedition among men, not regarding the legitimate government. Okay, it says that in, I believe, the GNT. So, as we're seeing the tensions rise over this whole election process and seeing everything that's going down, a lot of people that have the means to try to escape Babylon, that's what exactly they're trying to do. They're trying to escape. So I'm not gonna play this video, but what I did find interesting was the comments underneath the video, because this is the vibration that the Heavenly Father Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai has put out in the world, as it says in the book of Joel, that he will pour his spirit upon all flesh. Now, the spirit that the Heavenly Father is in the visitation of Babylon the Great through his indignation. Okay, and that's something that if you are, just half awake, okay, you don't even got to be fully awake. If you're just half aware, of what's happening in the earth, then you can sense that there is a boiling point, right, that is being reached, right? Like I said, tensions are rising, people are on edge, right? And that vibe is out there for just complete societal, disarray. Now, it may not happen, immediate, because we know that the Lord builds things up, right? He builds, just like how when he took down ancient Egypt, he didn't do that in one day. He did it over a course of times, months, right? Almost, a year rather, okay, close to a year rather. But nonetheless, we can clearly see that the Lord is breaking down Babylon the Great, all right? And the ones who are able to see it, we have that foresight to see how this is going to end. Now, majority of people, because they, are not paying attention, right? They're unawares of the time. All right, they're not being circumspect. They're just seeing this as just a blimp in the whole course of life, right? They look at this as, we'll just get past this and things will just continue as it was. But that's not the vibration. But like I said, you look at these comments, right? People are waking up to the fact that, yeah, we are in, as it says here, biblical times. Now, when you say biblical times, we're all of history, all of life is biblical times, because the Lord declared the end from the beginning. But when people say biblical times, they're talking about the end of this age. Okay, they're talking about, what they say, apocalyptic times. So so this is what it feels like to be alive during what can only be described as biblical times, right? Because once again, it's only in the scriptures that you're going to be able to find prophecy, and the prophecies are, well, I should say prophecies that are true. Okay, because what the Lord said, write this in a book, all right, because it is faithful and true. These words are faithful and true. Because you may have other religions and other people that try to claim prophecies, but It's only the word of the Lord that stands, right? So you had that. You have it says, talk about sad and pathetic. This is what America devolved into. Pathetic on all sides, right? Devolved. Let's go into that word devolved, right? Because you got evolved and you got devolved. It says to transfer or delicate power to a lower level, especially from central government or local regional administrations. It says, let's see if there's more. Here we go. It says degenerate. All right. And that's what is happening, right? It gives a sentence. It says the empire devolved into separate warring states. And that's what you're seeing actually taking place, right? This kingdom, Babylon, the Great America, is being devolved into separate warring mentalities in positions. You got, and this is why they're doing things like this, over what is supposed to be a democratic democracy type of system, right? Elections is supposed to be, people, they say we the people are going out there and letting, our voices be heard, not us, because, we're not involved, but citizens are supposed to be able to go out there and go to the voting booths and let their voice be heard about who they want to be their representative, because that's what your elected officials are supposed to be, right? They're supposed to represent the citizens and what the citizens want their country to the direction that they want their country to go into. But that's clearly not the case, right? So you have social unrest fears that are mounting, and because of that, right, and because of this mindset, because people are seeing what's going on, right, it says they already know that they're going to cheat and all hell is going to break loose. Hey, in this one it says they will stick with their 100-year-old plan no matter who's in charge. And that's actually the truth, because it's not about the president that is going to be the ultimate last voice of what direction that this government and the civilization is going toward here in America. It's really about the elites, right? The hidden hand, the ones that are not elected. Okay, they're the ones that's really in charge. As we always quote Mayor M. Shel Bauer, give me control of a nation's money and I care not who make the laws. But nonetheless, because you got things like this taking place, which I'll just get this here, says DC begins boarding up ahead of election over social fears. Washington, D.C., which is the nation's capital, are hardening security for potential social unrest after next week's presidential election. With 4 days remaining, workers have been busy boarding up government buildings and retail stores with plywood. Work crews have begun covering up the windows of buildings and stores near the White House as the election comes down to the final week. Okay, so you actually see imagery of this, right? It says Layden posted a video on YouTube of himself riding around on a bike near Washington White House complex, showing the various buildings being boarded up. In the video's description, he wrote, "When there is a threat of civil unrest, these landlords cover their windows much like you do when a hurricane is coming." Right? And guess what? A hurricane is coming. A storm is coming, right? It's the storm of what? The storm of the downfall of Babylon. Okay? It says, we do expect the Capitol complex to be much more hardened, right? An ultra hardening of security around and near the White House might be preparation for a possible Trump victory, with far left corporate media outlets pushing Trump that word, and Trump fascist rhetoric nonstop ahead of the election. This HATA speech propaganda could certainly fuel leftist radicals to become violently unhinged if Trump wins next week. And both sides are claiming the same thing, right? The left is claiming that if Kamala wins, then the MAGA supporters are going to go out and create civil unrest, right? They're going to go out and try to force Trump into the White House. And then the right is claiming if Trump wins, then this is what the leftist radicals are going to do. So this is a clear division in this place, right? Neither side respects the government, right? They don't respect the actual election process, and they don't respect the other side, right, of the coin. Okay, which that is why, as the scripture says, that there will be sedition among men, right? Not regarding their kings or princes. And that's why ultimately YAHAWASHI said this here in the book of Mark, which we always bring out, but let's get it, because this is now becoming real-time reality, right? The book of Mark, chapter 3, verse 24, straight to the point. A kingdom divided by civil war will collapse. All right. A kingdom divided by civil war will collapse. And this is what the Lord told Ezra was going to happen in these latter days in this kingdom. Okay, you were going to have civil unrest, civil war, right? A nation fighting within itself. Okay, Egyptian against Egyptian, friends fighting as enemies. See? So because that is happening, because that is the vibration that the Lord has put out there, and it's not going to just be civil unrest, it's going to be or civil war, is going to be race wars as well. Because when you have a situation where there's civil unrest, right, and you may have people that are in a mindset of fighting their neighbors, people will tend to team up with individuals that they have more things that they relate to, right? It's a natural, scripture says it, right? Actually, let me pull it up. I want to say that's in let me just think real quick. Tend to see if I can pull up this. I know it's in the Apocrypha. It's going to just give me let's see, tend. It's kind. Yeah, that's going to be. But this, I know it's, like I said, it's either in Sirach or second Esdras. Oh, here we go, right here. YAHAWASHI. It's viewed in the chapter. It says, so this is Sirach chapter 13, verse 15. It says, every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor. and that's a, when things are calm, when things are good, when a society is running well, right? Everything is orderly. When there's order and decency in a society, then yeah, you're going to love your neighbor. You're going to love your brother. You're going to be at peace, because the scriptures, the Lord said that there's a time for everything, right? There's a time of peace and there's a time of war. And we see that because of things like this, we clearly are showing that we're not in a time of peace. In a peaceful time, you don't board up, right? Your stores. Okay. You don't have to, make preparations for what they say, like a hurricane coming. Okay. But going back to here, it says, all flesh consorteth according to kind, and a man will cleave to his like. All right. So a man will cleave to his like, meaning if you are a certain type of individual, then that's the type of individual that you're going to naturally be drawn to. So that's why that's why you have nations, right? Here in Babylon the Great, which Babylon is confusion, where you got people all these different nations mixed and mingled and next to you. That's not how the Lord, actually set it up in the beginning. Remember, it says that he divided the nations their inheritance. You had the Moabites were here, the Ammonites were there, the Israelites were here, the Edomites were, in the mountains, right? But it's in Babel, right? And in Babylon, where you have this melting pot and it causes confusion. And then when things start to unravel, when people start to become distressed, when people start to become frustrated with the actual system, then naturally you start to draw back. You start to go back to what is natural to you. So then you're going to start seeing cliques of Edomites teaming up, cliques of Israelites teaming up. When I say Israel, I'm talking about the nation of Israelites, okay? The so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, cliques of so-called Chinese teaming up. That's just a natural thing. So yeah, when that takes place, when that takes place in a system that is unraveling in a civil unrest, then that turns naturally into a racial divide as well. Okay, so reading on, let's see, we got any more here. Says, you disgust me, you pumpkin turd. America already has a mental health emic. When Trump wins, there will be millions more added to the list. Right? It says Ohio Rep. Greg Landsman told Axis that even as September approached, security was preparing in a way that is very different from what has happened in the past, adding, I've never seen anything like it, because we're in a time like never before. Okay, as the YAHAWASHI said. Let's pull it up. YAHAWASHI said is going to be a time like never before. Matthew 24. So for us, this is everything is right on schedule. Okay, it's all right on schedule according to the warning that Yahweh Shai gave us. So this is why we are not in a fearful type of mode, because the Lord said that these things are going to take place. But he also said that the end is not yet, and there's going to be things. This is just the beginning of it. This is just the beginning of sorrows. Okay. So Matthew 24. Verse 21, it says, for there shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. All right, so that backs up what that guy just said. He's never seen anything like it, because it's a time that was never like any time before. So that's one article here. So because of this, things are happening, because this is the vibration, right? Because this is so apparent that the civil divide in America has become corroded so badly. What are people doing? Record numbers of wealthy Americans are making plans to leave the U.S. after the election. Okay, and you notice how it says wealthy Americans, because it's especially in the time that we're in right now, right? Because of how expensive everything is. You got to be wealthy, right? Not having money, just not doing good for yourself. You got to be wealthy, and wealthy is talking about what? That you make 7 figures to be able to plan to up and leave a country and just live in a whole different country. So majority of people can't do this. Right? Especially you Israelites, right? Especially you Israelites. So it says a growing number of wealthy Americans are making plans to leave the country in the run-up to Tuesday's election, with many fearing, here go again, political and social unrest, regardless of who wins, according to immigration attorneys. See, all roads are leading to the same end, which the end is the destruction. Okay. That's why I said the ship is sinking. It don't matter who gets into the captain's booth and tries to, steer it. The point is there's a big ass hole in the middle of the ship and water is getting in. So at that point, it don't matter who is the captain. I'm the captain now. Well, guess what? The ship is still sinking. See? So that's why it says, regardless of who wins, people are in this mindset. The wealthy Americans are in this mindset of, I'm trying to get out of here. Right? It says attorneys and advisors to family offices and high net worth families said that they are seeing record demand from clients looking for second passports or long-term residencies abroad. While talk of moving overseas after an election is common, wealth advisors said this time many of the wealthy are already taking action. See that? We've never seen demand like we see now, similar to what the other person said about the preparations that are being taken, right? Because prophecy is speaking. At the end of the day, people are all dancing to the tune. The world is dancing to the tune of prophecy. So we are living in a time where you're going to see things that are not common, and if it is something that are, or should I say, you want to see things at a heightened level, because there's been social unrest before in life, right? Even back in 2020, that was, the whole BLM and all that shit. That was common before. I mean, that happened before, but the level of things happening now is going to be unprecedented. It's going to be unheard of. Okay, the trouble, because you look at the word trouble. Let's go to this word trouble here in the book of Daniel. I'll read it first. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince. Actually, you know what? I want to get it in here since I read it. Let me get tribulation, and then we'll read Daniel. Okay. So it says the Lord said, YAHAWASHI said, is going to be great tribulation. You go into this word tribulation. It says a pressing together, oppression, affliction, tribulation, distress, straits. Okay, anguish, pressure. See that? Hey, and we always say that, right? That's how the elites work: pressure from above, pressure from below, and the people that's in the middle are the average, citizens. They're the one that's being squeezed. They're the one that's feeling this pressure, and when that pressure gets too intense, what happens? You pop, and the popping is all hell breaking loose. It's like a pressure cooker, right? If you are using a pressure cooker, if you have it, cooking for too long, then there's going to be a reaction to, within that pot to what's ever in there. You see, and that is where we're at right now. All these events that have been taking place, especially since 2020, is what the pressure being built. It's like blowing up a balloon. If you keep blowing, oxygen air into that balloon, it's going to get too much pressure for the balloon to, hold the air in there, and it's eventually going to pop. And that is what we are at right. That is the place that we're at right now. There's not much more time, before this thing blows up. Okay. And when it blows up, it's going to be a blow up like never before. That is what it means by a time like never before. Because the like I said, the divide amongst the people, right? The intensity of the division amongst the people, all of that is greatly increased at this time. And on top of it, the Lord is the one that is in control of these spirits, and people got these evil spirits, man, on them, right? The spirits, these evil spirits, these spirits of vengeance are highly activated right now, and that's according to scriptures as well. Let's go back. It says, Volek, yeah, Volek said that for the first time, wealthy Americans are far and away the company's largest client base, accounting for 20% of its businesses and more than any other nationality. And he said that that number of Americans making plans to move abroad is up at least 30% over last year. Right? It says David, managing partner, blah, 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 blah. The international tax and immigration firm said that the number of Americans hiring him for possible moves overseas has roughly tripled over the last year. So they're trying to get the hell out of Dodge, these wealthy Americans, right? But the thing is, right, actually, I don't want it to jump too ahead. But I'll say this, the thing is, you may not have enough time to get out of Dodge. Okay. And even if you do end up leaving, that's only for you to, if you survive the end of, if you survive the day of the Lord, that's only for you just to be the first crops of slaves in the kingdom of YAHAWASHI, the kingdom of heaven, if you are, a heathen. All right. Because like I said, most of these wealthy Americans ain't talking about Israelites, right? It says a survey by Art and Capital, which advised the wealthy on immigration programs, find that 53%, so over half of American millionaires, say they're more likely to leave the U.S. after the election, no matter who wins. Younger millionaires were the most likely to leave, with 64% of millionaires between 18 and 29 saying that they were very interested and seeking so-called golden visas through a residency by investment program overseas. Granted, the interest in second passports and residencies has been rising steadily among the American rich since the 19th. Whether it's retiring to a warmer, cheaper country or being closer to family abroad, the wealthy have plenty of non-political reasons to want to venture overseas. The ultra wealthy also increasingly see citizenships in one country as a concentrated. Okay, that's don't really matter. It says the elections in the political climate have accelerated and added to the push by wealthy Americans to consider a plan B abroad. Lesperance said that far more than 3 decades, his American clients were mainly Salakia. For more than 3 decades, so over 30 years, his American clients were mainly interested in moving overseas for tax reasons. Okay, because even here in Babylon the Great, the scriptures tells you that the taxes over here is ridiculous, right? And that's as it says here in the book of Isaiah 14, verse 44, thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, right? And say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. It's funny because they call the program to get a visa, a golden visa program, right? But this this golden city was, false gold, right? It wasn't real gold. It was gold plated. All right. But when you go into this word oppressor, nagash, right? Nagas, it says what? Exactor or raiser of taxes. See? And that's what this devil does, man, to tax, to harass. And that's why you got inflation at an all-time high. Everything is rent, car payments. All these things are your income taxes, federal taxes, state taxes. You got taxes on buying things. Everything has a damn tax. Everything has a damn tax. And this is why the wealthy, as it says here, for more than 30 years, people were trying to leave America because for tax reasons. See, it says now it's political and fear of violence, with the next week's election turbocharging those fears. For some of them, the primary thing is, I don't want to live in a MAGA America. Others are worried about violence if Donald Trump loses, or Vice President Kamala Harris plan to tax unrealized capital gains for those worth more than 100 million. So these people are, like I said, these are really rich people. Okay. that are trying to dip out. And that's, I said, that's fine. If you get to be able to escape, just know that you're only escaping. Where is that in James? You're only escaping to be the first crops, the first fruits of slavery. That's it. James 5 verse 1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and your silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasures together for the last days. See, so they're trying to use their treasures that they heaped together to leave Babylon. It says, behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields. Because how did these people get rich? A lot of these wealthy, ultra wealthy people come from what they say old money, right? These new millionaires, yeah, you might have a couple million, right? But when you talk about hundreds of millions of dollars that you're worth, that's old money. And that old money comes from what? The really free labor by the Israelites, building up your family's wealth. See? So that's why it says the hire of the laborer have reaped down your fields. And who was doing that? The slaves here in America, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth, the Lord of armies. Just like how in ancient Egypt, the scripture says that the Lord heard our cries and have respect unto our cries. See, and that's what's happening right now. We are sighing and crying to Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, and now we because of what Yahawashi did, and because now we have this truth and we have his name, we have an audience in the ears of the Lord now. See, it says, ye have lived in pleasure on the earth and have been wanton. Right? You have lived in pleasure on the earth and have been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in the days of slaughter. So yeah, you had your time to live it up here in Babylon, right? But that time is through. Okay, the rich, you trying to escape, and that's, like I said, that's prophecy. We'll get it. Jeremiah 51 verse 8. It says, but suddenly, this is in the NLT, but suddenly Babylon too has fallen. Weep for her, give her medicine. It says, give her medicine, perhaps she can yet be healed. We would have helped her if we could, but nothing can save her now. Let her go, abandon her. Return now to your own land, for her punishment reaches to the heavens. It is so great it cannot be numbered. See? So you got people, because even there was saying that a lot of people are going back to countries that they have ancestries from, right? Where was that at? It says Americans with ancestry in Ireland, Italy, and dozens other countries can apply for so-called lineage citizenship, which is typically far cheaper than an investment visa. Some countries like Portugal also offer retirement visas, which allow entry in a path to citizenships. But check this out. It says, don't expect to get any citizenships or residencies right away. With attorneys and countries inundated with so many applications, because so many people are trying to leave America. All right, they're trying to get off of the ship, just like in the movie Titanic. Who were the first people that got those lifeboats? It wasn't the poor, right? It was the ones that were rich. The richer you were, the more likely you were to able to get on one of those lifeboats. So that's the same thing here. The richer you are, the more likely you will be able to get citizenship and move somewhere else. So where does that leave you, Jakes? Right? That's why the only way you're going to be able to escape this place is through salvation of Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi, through the chariots. And the Lord is only coming to save the ones who have repented, the ones who he has deemed worthy, who has made themselves ready. Okay. So like, yeah. It says, with so many different background checks and approvals required, the process can take months or even a year or more, and that waiting list can grow longer depending on the election results. It's getting crowded, Lesperance said, and I'm sure I'm going to get a bunch more on November 6th or 7th. See? So this is prophecy happening in real time. Okay, and this is just goes to show you how people are seeing, especially like I said, the rich, because what did the Lord say? That the children of this world and their generation are wiser than the children of light. The children of light being Israelites, the children of this world, they're seeing this. They're seeing what's happening to America. They're seeing the storm coming, right? They're seeing how, all hell is about to break loose, and they're trying to leave. Okay, but it's our people who are what destroyed for a lack of knowledge. All right, and the only way really for you to be delivered, and the only way for you to have a safe haven is, repenting, and that's the message. That's what the message has always been, and that time is short. Okay, draw near unto the Lord while He may be found. Okay, Isaiah 47, verse 8. It says, "Therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly." And this is the result of when you dwell carelessly, right? Your kingdom crumbles. Okay, when you dwell carelessly, when you are just doing the things, doest thou wilt spirit, when you're not prudent, when you're not having Yahweh, the God of heaven, as the order of how to live and how to maintain a kingdom, then you're going to reap the fruits of that, which the fruits of living that type of way, right, is just destruction. That's it. You're going to fall. It says, "Thou sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments." See? So when the Lord is bringing these things, and that's why there's a build up to it, okay? Because the Lord is bringing destruction. He's bringing pain. He's bringing tribulation perfectedly. He's perfecting it on America, right? On Babylon. So that when he happens here, nobody's going to be able to escape it. Nobody's going to be able to say, "Oh yeah, it was hard, but I was able to endure it." Nah, it's going to be a perfected wrath, a perfected judgment that the Lord is going to show the world for ages, for history. All right, that this is what happens when you go against Him. This is what happens when you blaspheme the God of heaven. This is what happens when you afflict the Lord's chosen people. All right, this is what happens to a kingdom, and this is what He does to a kingdom that is against Him. Okay, so I'm gonna end it there. We got a couple days left, so just keep the faith and keep watching, because things are things are intensifying, right? And all we have to do is wait, right? That's it. Just wait and watch, and let's see how the Lord does this thing. So with that, giving all praises to Yahawah, Ba'ashem, YAHAWASHI, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kodash. Shalom.